Hello everyone, Alicia here with another lightened up Weight Watcher friendly recipe. And today I'm going to be trying out a new recipe for protein cookie dough bark. I found this on Pinterest, I believe, and I'm going to be lightening it up, making it more Weight Watcher friendly, lower calories, all of that good stuff. It just looked really good, so I thought I would take you guys along with me. I will be sure though to have a link to the original recipe that I am lightening up, so you can check that out if you want. But let me jump into ingredients real quick and I'll show you what you're gonna need to make this. So first off, I've got some oat flour here, a half cup, and I just make my own, and that's roughly gonna be 2/3 cup of rolled oats to get a half cup of oat flour. You could use a different type of flour if you want. In fact, the recipe that I'm altering is using almond flour, I believe. But I'm gonna be using oat. And then next up, I've got some of this Isopure zero carb protein powder. I'm gonna be using 2 scoops of this, or 62 grams. And then in here, I've got some Pbfit powder, 2 tablespoons. And I'm gonna be making a little bit of peanut butter out of that. And so I've also got 1.5 tablespoons water to make my Pbfit peanut butter. Next up, I've got some of these Lily's milk chocolate style baking chips. I'm gonna be using 4 ounces total, an ounce in the dough, and then 3 ounces to melt and put on top of the dough. I'm also gonna be using some coconut oil, 2 tablespoons for the dough, and then a half teaspoon to go with my chocolate when I melt it. Next up, I've got some Lakanto maple flavored syrup. I'm gonna be using 2 tablespoons of that. And then a little bit of sea salt flakes to sprinkle on top of the chocolate, which is completely optional. I'm also going to be needing an additional probably 2 tablespoons, 2 to 4 tablespoons water for the dough. I don't have that out here, but I'm going to be adding that a tablespoon at a time when I'm making the dough. So this is everything that you're going to need. Let me get it started. First thing, in a medium-sized bowl, I'm going to add in my coconut oil, which again is 2 tablespoons. And I'm gonna microwave this for about 30 seconds in my microwave just to get it melted. And then while that is melting in the microwave, I'm gonna get my Pbfit made up. So the 2 tablespoons of Pbfit powder and 1.5 tablespoons water. I'm just gonna stir those together until they form peanut butter. Okay, I've got that done, so now I'm going to set that aside. I've got my coconut oil melted, so now I'm going to add in my peanut butter. 2 tablespoons maple syrup, oat flour, 2 scoops protein powder, and then I'm going to stir all that together. Okay, here's how we're looking consistency-wise. Now I'm going to start adding my water to this, a tablespoon at a time, and stirring it in. And it says you're looking for the cookie dough to not be dry and crumbly, but you also don't want it wet, so you just want it sticking together. So I'm gonna start adding my water in, a tablespoon at a time. And I did alter this recipe, so I'm not sure how many tablespoons this is gonna take. I added the peanut butter to it, which is gonna add moisture. So we'll just start off with the 1, mix that in. Okay, so here is what it looks like with a tablespoon, which I would say is probably a little too wet. So I would start off with a half tablespoon. I wish I would have done that. I'll have that in the instructions. Definitely not gonna be using the 2 to 4 that the recipe said. But anyway, I'm gonna take my 1 ounce of chocolate chips and fold those in. Got those folded in, so now I'm gonna grab my cookie sheet here. I've got lined with parchment. Got my dough on. And this is gonna be really sticky, so I think I'm gonna grab myself some cooking spray, spray my hands with. Sprayed my hand with a little bit of cooking spray. I'm gonna spread this dough out into a rectangular shape, and I'm gonna end up spraying my other hand too, just so I get this on here. So I'll get this spread out and then I'll be back. I've got this all spread out on here, so now what I'm gonna do is get my chocolate melted up. I've got my remaining 3 ounces here with my half teaspoon coconut oil. I'm just gonna put this in the microwave it at 15-second increments, stirring in between, until it's nice and smooth and fully melted. My camera cut me off, but I got my chocolate melted. It took about a minute. And I just poured it on here. Now I'm going to spread it out evenly on the top of my dough. That all spread on there. So now I'm going to take just a little bit of the sea salt and just kind of lightly sprinkle it on top. Again, this is optional, but I think it's going to add nice flavor to these. Okay, I got that all sprinkled. I probably only used about a quarter teaspoon. So now what I'm going to do is pop this in my freezer for at least an hour to let this get completely set up and hard enough to cut them into bars. So I'll be back at that point. I'll let this sit in the freezer for just over an hour, and it's nice and set up now. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it into pieces. I'm going to do 12, and then I'll be back and we'll give this a taste. And I'll also give you the points per serving on it. All right, got this all cut up. That's what it's looking like. I probably should have let this sit a little longer in the freezer because it is set up, but it's still a little soft, probably a little too soft to cut, but it worked. And the recipe does say you can store this in the freezer or the fridge in an airtight container, and I'm probably going to just put mine back in the freezer and just store it that way. But this is, as I said, I cut it into 12 pieces, so serving size is going to be a 12th, and that is going to be 4 points. So we'll give this a try and see what we think of it.
Okay.
I won't show you trying to bite it. Did that? Well, that didn't look like it. It's too hard to bite through.
That's really good.
Is it? You know, the dough smelled really good. It actually smelled like cookie dough when I was spreading it out on the parchment.
It actually has a very slight taste of, like it's a bit of honey.
It's got the Lakanto maple syrup in there. You think that's what you're picking up?
That could be. Well, it's amazing how reminiscent of a bit of honey that is to me.
Oh, bit of honey?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love that. That was like one of my favorite.
Which isn't chocolate at all.
No, it's not. Comment down below if you know what bit of honey is or you're familiar with it. I think it's a fairly older candy, don't you think? Like,
yeah.
Was that 50s, 60s?
Well, I don't know.
I mean, I had
it.
I was a 70s, well, not really, more like 80s kid. And I ate that growing up. Actually, we would, our parents would give that to us to
lose teeth.
To have our teeth come out, but it was so good. So let me try a little bite.
That is really good.
Now that you say that, I'm even more excited to try.
It didn't go away either. Isn't that interesting? Mm-hmm. It's like there's not really even a chocolate. It combines to where it's almost like the chocolate taste is hidden.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, I can taste the chocolate, but I see what you're saying. And I really like that sea salt. What did you think of that? I think that pairs well with it.
Yeah.
Those are good. So what do you think about 4 points? And I'll have the protein on there. I haven't put it into MyFitnessPal yet, so I don't know what that is going to be for the way I did it.
It's pretty satisfying.
Yeah?
I mean, the problem is I want to eat,
too many of them?
16 points worth.
Yeah. Those are good, though. Was that something you'd want again?
Yes.
Okay, and I think, honestly, I would probably... Well, maybe not. I was going to say I would double this because it doesn't make a lot, but 12 of them is probably enough to, keep yourself from getting into trouble.
Honestly, I might even just quarter those just to
Quarter
have a
them?
nice little savory...
Sweet bite?
Yeah.
Well, I do like that they've got, a decent amount of protein in them. And they definitely taste better than a protein bar, don't you think?
Yeah.
Not that they have as much as one, but... All right, well, I would say those were a success.
Yeah.
Protein cookie dough bark. As always, I will have all the ingredients, instructions, WW Recipe Builder, additional nutritional info to the macros and more. All of that's going to be down in the description box. So check down there if these are something that you're interested in. All the info on them will be down there. But thank you guys as always for watching, and I will see you on the next one.